And now with the Gerwalk out of the way, we will move on to the Battroid version. Again, same artist, Hidetake Tenjin. Similar kind of art style, you know, Valkyrie in the middle of a frenetic space battle sequence. Side, you got just some shots of the completed model. This one can only be done as the Strike version. It does not have the swap-out shoulder missile pod, though getting a spare wouldn't be too difficult if you wanted to do it as the Super. And then just some stills from the show. So because this one doesn't have anything even resembling a fighter mode, its construction will be quite a lot different. So you've got partial fuselage for the shoulders. Details are similar, but it's all very, very different in overall assembly. You got the tops of the shoulders, you got the nose cone, which has no cockpit at all. There is a blast shield, a flat blast shield with a simple panel line on it that replaces the canopy to protect the pilot while in operation. But same as everywhere else, the panel lining detail looks really great. There's a little bit on there that looks really fantastic if the light's catching it okay. Backpack and some joint parts. I'm not really sure. I'm guessing these might be part of the head. Got some fins on the legs. Yeah, joint parts I really don't recognize. These would be, I guess, the missiles for the forearm armor and the round circles on the backpack for the Skull Squadron logo. My favorite part of the S-Type, that gorgeous head. Two halves, very simple. Has a plate that fits over the top, so there's not really much in the way of a seam. There's a bit around the back, a bit on the faceplate. Got the twin cannons, or dual twin cannons. You got the neck component and the neck strut. I think we got some similar parts to what were included with the Gerwalk mode, though I can't really say for sure without comparing them directly. You got your legs, main leg parts. Intake covers for the engines, upper thighs. You got the actual intakes themselves. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say these are unique parts from the Gerwalk, so I guess they do have unique legs. Leg fins, alternate leg fins. I'm guessing these are for the standard mode, and the ones that we saw before might be for the Strike/Super. Looked like they had a bit more of a severe angle on this peg to get them out of the way of the leg armor. Not going to go into a lot of detail on this. I think this is the same exact runner as we just looked at on the Gerwalk. We've got the thrusters, leg armor parts, shoulder cannon, etc., etc. I think this is exactly the same runner as we just saw. Backpack unit. It's a bit different from the other one. This is unique to the Battroid, it looks like. Overall, complete assembly looks like it's a fair bit different, and the wings especially look like they're quite a bit different, because rather than being a top-bottom half almost complete, this one has clearly just a simple little insert. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think this one has the gear mechanism in the wings. You've got the pop-up shoulder sensors. More super parts. These are all the same as for the Gerwalk again, so we won't really talk too much about them. Just shoulder armors, thruster bell, missile pods, and another half runner. And leg armor parts, engine pods, leg armor mounts, backpack mounts. Not much for clear parts. As I said, there's no canopy on this one. It's just the blast shield, so all you've really got are the shoulder sensors, I think these might be the kneecap sensors, what would be on the landing gear doors. Camera eye sensors for the various different modes. This would be for the J, the S, the A type. Probably a sensor for the shoulder cannon. Roy's Valkyrie has the signature yellow color to it, so they've curiously done this as a separate insert piece, but it's only in yellow, whereas it's yellow. The actual correct color is yellow on the top and then black around the bottom. So it's kind of weird that they would even do this as a separate part, but you know, whatever. Polycap set appears to be the same as with the Jerwalk, just your double axis hinges, couple of ball joints. Handset and gun pod, same as with the Jerwalk. And finally, arms, feet, same as with the Jerwalk. Looks like the exact identical parts. Decal set. This is where we get a little bit different. This one only has colors for Roy and Hikaru, aka Rick Hunter. In the TV series, Hikaru inherited Roy's Valkyrie after Roy died. Now, I've never seen Do You Remember Love, so I don't know if he inherits Roy's Valkyrie and then repaints it red, or if he just gets his own VF-1S with a red color. But that's basically the difference between the two of them: is the yellow details with the black blast shield, or the red details with the red blast shield. Otherwise, you got your Macross logos. You got parts, stripes for the tail fins, legs, Skull Squadron logos, thruster inserts, which I'll probably paint rather than apply decals, because screw decals. Otherwise, all the printing is just as fine as on the other kit. And instruction sheet, same as otherwise. Assembly starts with the arms, then onto the torso, wings, which, yes, do not have a geared hinging mechanism. It's just a straight move one at a time. Backpack, nose cone, which has a strut that runs across it that the legs attach to. Then moves on to the legs, then starts up with the armor parts, backpack, gun pod, final assembly, and the marking guide on the back. And yeah, no less intimidating of a marking guide than the other kit. So, but hey, it's a robot this time, so it looks cool. Yeah, you can either paint the blast shield, or there are decals for it, and then you can apply the Skull Squadron logo over top of it. If I'm not mistaken, though, when I did this thing as a younger man, I remember that there was an option for a second blast shield that actually had an molded, embossed logo on it. Yeah, so you got the smooth one, and then you got the embossed one. I'll see if I can find it. Yes, so there's a second blast shield there, which has a embossed Skull Squadron logo on it. So, be easy to paint this and then just wipe off the excess from the Skull Squadron logo, but it'd be really tough to mask. So, I'm not going to go that route. I'm just going to use the smooth one and then add a decal. So, that's a couple of Valkyries. It's interesting taking a look at the Battroid again after all this time. I did one of them back in, I think it would have been about 2002, maybe 2003. There's no copyright date on the box for initial release that I can find. No, the only copyright date that I can find on the box is 1984, which was the original air date for Macross Do You Remember Love, if I'm not mistaken. That being the feature the feature film adaptation of the series, which is common in Japan to do a compilation movie of an anime series
Oftentimes what they'll do is adapt animation from the series, re-edit it, and add new animation to kind of streamline the story, make it a little bit smoother for a shorter narration. But in the case of Do You Remember Love, it was actually reanimated from the ground up. While the Valkyries themselves retain the same design, the armored versions, as I said, instead of having the twin missile launchers, they had the cannon on one shoulder as opposed to missile launcher on both shoulders. But while the Valkyries remained largely the same, minor color differences here and there, the Macross itself got a pretty significant redesign. Not just a detail up for the improved animation or better detail or frame rate or whatever, but the actual ship itself looks quite a bit different in the movie versus in the show. Overall shape and design is very similar, but regardless, we'll take a look at that tomorrow with the 4000 scale Hasegawa kits. So that's going to be interesting. So stay tuned for those. Thanks everyone out there for watching, and happy modeling.